So look, I just want to apologize to Charleston White for saying that I'm gonna call R. Kelly for his daughter. Now, I wish Jeffrey Epstein was alive because I feel like he'll be a better fit for your little daughter. Now, Mr. Charleston White, Tia can skate all day, but you got to bring your ass here. You need to shut the fuck up with them uneven ass eyes you have, bitch. You old enough to be my motherfucking granddaddy. You want to hop on here? So I'm finna get on somebody else's live, and I'm finna show your ass.
$3,500. That's the number that turned a viral moment into a potential legal disaster. On camera, in full view of the internet, Victoria Wood, widely known online as the sister of GloRilla, offered $3,500 to anyone who could catch Charleston White, knock him out, and take his phone. No coded language, no jokes, no "I'm just playing." A clear offer, a specific target, a price attached, and while social media treated it like entertainment, sharing clips, laughing in comments, debating loyalty, something very different was happening on the other side. Because Charleston White didn't go live and rant back. He picked up the phone, but here's what most people missed while arguing in comment sections. This offer was aimed at exactly the wrong person, not because of clout or reputation, because of history. Because Charleston White is one of the few people in this situation who actually understands what that $3,500 video means in legal terms. And to understand why, you have to know who he actually is before the controversies. Before the viral clips, before the provocateur reputation, Charleston White spent years inside the criminal justice system as a teenager. Not as a commentator, as someone processed through it. He has spoken openly about serving time in a Texas youth facility after serious criminal involvement at a young age. After his release, he didn't just pivot to content creation, he positioned himself around criminal justice reform, youth mentorship, and legal mitigation work. That background gave him something most internet personalities don't have. He knows how charges are built, he knows how intent is documented, he knows how evidence is collected and how it holds up. So, when someone publicly offers money for physical harm against him specifically, his reaction isn't emotional, it's strategic. And that's exactly what played out. Now, before we get into what Charleston did next, we need to back up. Because this whole situation didn't start with a threat. It started with a microphone. During a podcast appearance, Charleston was asked about family pressure and whether successful artists are obligated to financially support relatives once they make it. The conversation referenced public tensions surrounding GloRilla and complaints from family members about not receiving support. He gave a blunt opinion. He argued that success doesn't automatically create lifelong financial responsibility to everyone around you. He pushed back on the idea that once someone becomes wealthy, family members are entitled to that money. He framed it around personal responsibility. His view that parents raise children, not the other way around once the child becomes successful. Was it harsh? Yes. Was it a threat? No. It was commentary on a public debate. He didn't name specific people. He didn't issue challenges. He didn't tag anyone or call for anything. But online, tone matters more than context. Clips were cut, lines were isolated, emotion filled the gaps. And instead of a counterargument or a rebuttal, what came next had a dollar amount attached to it. Victoria Wood went on camera and made an offer, $3,500 to anyone who could catch Charleston White, knock him out, and take his phone. And here's where it stops being social media drama. When you publicly offer money in exchange for someone committing violence against a specific named person, that steps into the territory of solicitation in many jurisdictions. The critical detail most people don't realize: the crime does not have to happen. No punch has to be thrown. No money has to change hands. The offer itself, if it's serious and intentional, can be enough to constitute criminal conduct. Social media didn't treat it that way. The clips spread like entertainment, laughing emojis, debates about whether someone would actually try to collect. It became content, but that's the danger of viral culture. Serious statements get flattened into memes, and while everyone was treating it as a moment, something else was happening quietly. The video was being archived, screen recorded, shared across platforms, which means even if it were deleted later, it would still exist in hundreds of places simultaneously. Virality doesn't protect you from evidence, it multiplies it. every repost is another copy, every share is another timestamp, the more viral something becomes, the more traceable it becomes. That's when this stopped being just a heated reaction. Now here's the irony that almost nobody stopped to point out. This whole situation was rooted in a debate about family loyalty, whether GloRilla owed financial support to the people around her. That was the emotional core driving Victoria's reaction. She was defending family, standing up for people she felt were being dismissed. But Charleston White, the man she put a bounty on, has publicly documented multiple times that he bought his mother a house, bought his sister a car, and took care of extended family before spending on himself. Whether people agree with his methods or his personality, that's part of his stated narrative. So the situation becomes this. A debate about family responsibility led to a public offer of violence against a man whose public position is that he actually showed up for his family. That irony is sharp, and it means the emotional logic behind the bounty, defending loyalty, ran directly into someone who had already been making the opposite argument with his own life. Meanwhile, Charleston responded exactly the way his background trained him to respond. He claimed he contacted law enforcement and filed a formal police report regarding the bounty video. He stated publicly that a report number existed. He said his attorney was involved, and then he did something calculated. He went on camera, calmly, and repeated that law enforcement had been notified. That move matters more than it looks like on the surface. By publicly stating that police were involved, he created a documented timestamp. He put any potential third parties on notice that acting on that bounty would now carry premeditated weight behind it. Anyone considering chasing that $3,500 would no longer be walking into internet drama. They'd be walking into a documented case with prior awareness on record. He didn't match aggression with aggression. He shifted the battlefield from social media to the legal system. And in that shift, he changed what the consequences would look like for anyone involved. Most people expected him to yell back. He filed paperwork instead. Then the second video reportedly surfaced. After Charleston had publicly stated that law enforcement was involved and a report had been filed, Victoria Wood allegedly reposted or reaffirmed the offer rather than walking it back. That single detail changes the legal picture significantly. There's often room to argue that a first statement was made in anger. Heat of the moment, poor judgment, venting. Courts and prosecutors understand emotion. But when someone is publicly aware their statement is being treated as a criminal matter, and they restate it anyway, that argument becomes much harder to make. In legal terms, that's what prosecutors look at when establishing the mental element of a crime. In plain terms, knowing what you're doing and choosing to do it anyway. Intent becomes clearer. Impulsiveness becomes harder to argue. The sequence: first offer, public awareness. Second offer tells a story that emotion alone doesn't explain. And here's what internet culture consistently gets wrong about moments like this. The algorithm moves on. The comments section forgets. The timeline fills up with the next controversy within 48 hours. So it feels like nothing sticks, but screenshots don't expire. Videos don't vanish from servers because the discourse moved on. Statements don't age out just because engagement dropped. The legal system doesn't operate on the same clock as social media. Cases can be built months after a moment trends and disappears from everyone's feed. What felt like a viral flash can become a documented incident that sits in a file long after nobody is talking about it anymore. This is the part a lot of creators and people who react emotionally on camera genuinely don't understand until they're already past the line. The same audience that laughed and shared the clip can become witnesses in a legal context. The virality that felt like power is actually a chain of evidence. One side in this situation treated it like internet energy, the other treated it like paperwork. And that contrast is what makes this bigger than just two personalities clashing. It shows how quickly pride overrides strategy, how a moment of anger, even one rooted in genuine loyalty, can become a permanent record, how the emotional logic of defending family can lead somewhere nobody intended to go. The original debate was about whether success creates obligation, whether people who make it owe something to the ones they came from. That's a real conversation worth having. But somewhere between a podcast opinion and a $3,500 bounty video, the conversation stopped being about ideas and became about consequences nobody fully thought through. The internet rewards fast reactions. The legal system punishes reckless ones. And when those two things collide, it's never the algorithm that decides the outcome.